Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of That Green Vegans podcast. I'm Kelly. Hey, so today's podcast is titled I'm Gay. And I know some people are going to look at the title and they're either going to think this is clickbait or they're going to think, is she gay? So let's get right into it, okay? First of all, I just want to give a disclaimer that this podcast is not to offend anyone or make fun of anyone or make a person feel a certain kind of way. It's a message. It's a message. And so you just have to wait till the end. The podcasts are not that long. And I will even do a video on it as a matter of fact, because I've learned so much. You see, I live in California, right? And California is one of the most liberal states out of all the states. We are. You have Southern California and you have Northern California. I'm in Northern California. Not only am I in Northern California, but I am from the Bay Area, proud Oakland, born and raised, that part. Then you have northern all the way down to like Sacramento, right? So in the Bay Area, you have like Oakland, San Francisco, you have like Vallejo. People know those areas. And in San Francisco have one of the highest gay populations around. Just, I think out of all of California, San Francisco is, right? So you probably saying, like, what does that have to do with anything? I'm trying to tell you. So this particular day, I had a friend has sent for me, and I was in San Diego, right? And so I had this whole like trip planned out where I was going to Southern California, and I was telling a friend of mine, it's like, oh, I'm gonna put you up, we're gonna hang out, go eat, go some different places, and then I was gonna go from there, rent a car and drive to LA, right? So the hotel name was, I want to say Kimpton. So just say Kimpton Hotels, right? And it's a beautiful hotel, very modern. And I was meeting him downstairs for dinner. So I came downstairs and he called me and was like, oh, I'm running a little late. He was like, just go to the bar, get some appetizers, some drinks. I'll take care of it when I get there. I'm like, say less. So I was like, oh, let me go wash my hands since I'm going to get some finger food. So I go upstairs to, was I vegan back then? I was vegan. Yes. I remember. Yes, I was vegan at this time. Right. And I went, I asked the person, I said, oh, where's the restroom? She's like, it's on the second floor. So I go to the bathroom. When I went there, it was just one bathroom. And it had this weird symbol on the front of it. And I'm like, what is this? And I wasn't sure, because there was nobody on the second floor, right? So I just stood there. I said, well, I'm going to just stand here for a second and somebody got to come out, right? Because I didn't want to go in it if I didn't know. I didn't know. So about a couple of minutes, passed, and this guy's car walking towards me. And so he's walking my way, and then he stops. And he looks at the door, and I look at him, and he look at me, and we look at the door, and then we look back at each other. And he was like, what is that? I said, I don't know. He said, well, you want to go look? I said, you go look. And then he goes, maybe the men's is around the corner or something, right? So I said, let me go look. So I go inside. It is like a regular bathroom. So I washed my hands. I just wanted to wash my hands. I washed my hands. And so I came out and he's standing there. And I said, did you find the bathroom? And he said, they said, this is the bathroom. I said, what? He was like, yeah, I forgot the terminology, but basically it's a gender fluid bathroom. Like it doesn't matter if you're a man or you're a woman. And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. I was like, okay. So then I go downstairs, I get a drink. I needed one after that experience. And I got like an appetizer. And so about maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, my friend comes. He's like, what I miss? I'm like, a lot. And then I said, hey, you want to go to the bathroom with me? Let me tell you something. His eyes bucked out so big because we wasn't like that. Our relationship was very platonic, very like, oh, brother, sister kind of thing, right? So when I asked him if you want to go to the bathroom with me, he was like, yeah. So we go to the bathroom and he stops and he goes, this, like, what is this? And I said, no, you have to come inside. So we go inside and there is a guy there and he looks and I said, this is a gender fluid bathroom. It's for men and for women. And like all the stalls are like, it's like a room. So you can't like look under the stall. And he was like, whoa. He said, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. I'm like, right? So that was our little excitement thing, right? But then it's like once you know better, once you know, you can't unknow, right? But it was weird being in a bathroom with men and women in the same bathroom. It was just weird. So anyway, had a great time. Boom, 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 boom. I go let me tell you something. This hotel was not cheap. Okay. So I think I got there like on a Monday around 6:00 on a Monday. I stayed till Tuesday, but I checked out early on Wednesday, right? So basically I was only there for like a day and a half. And he paid for the room and everything. So when the bill came, they put the bill underneath your door or whatever. It was like $580 some dollars, like $589. I'm like, dang. I mean, it was a nice hotel, but it was not nice. But I didn't have to pay, so hey, I ain't complaining. But anyway, yeah, I believe it's called the Kimpton Inn. So I get my little rent-a-car. I go to LA. I go spend time with my cousin. It was a vibe, right? And so then we went to a couple of places, but when I went to these places, now that I know, I'm looking for the gender fluid bathroom. Like, you guys have a gender fluid bathroom? They didn't know what it was. We would go to these different places and they were like, well, I don't know what that is. And I was like, it's a bathroom that men and women can use the bathroom. He was like, how does that work? I'm like, I know, right? It's a thing. So then I, leave from Southern California. Now I'm in Northern California. And so I'm talking to a friend of mine who is a lawyer, and he was just saying how, you can't discriminate against, like people who are transgender, right? People who identify as a certain, who identify as a certain gender. So, for instance, if I'm a woman, if I was born a man but I identify as a woman, I could go into the woman's bathroom. But that was kind of making certain people uncomfortable, certain women uncomfortable, right? And because it wasn't like it was a situation, I believe it was in San Francisco, where it was like a gym situation and they looked like they was female, but then they had, the boys had balls. She had balls. Excuse me, not to be disrespectful. Had balls. So, like, it was this huge thing, and it was like, oh my goodness, you're in here, and then they was like, identify as a woman, like, it was this huge thing, right? So they started changing the way things were. And I'm thinking, like, how are they going to do this? Especially places like, what is it? Like, say Target, right? And so what I start seeing is that they just start building extra bathrooms. So they had a men's bathroom, they had a woman's bathroom, and then they had a family's bathroom. So anybody can use the family bathroom, right? But I can understand, because if you identify as a woman, you don't want to go into the men bathroom. And then plus, if you're a man and you pull your thing out because they have urinals, you don't want a woman to come in, kind of thing, right? That part. So, I remember one time we was at a club and the women's bathroom was so long. I mean, it was so long. And me and my girlfriends, we had to go to the bathroom like so bad because we had been drinking water, whatever, and we just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't. I just have to go to the men's bathroom because the men's bathroom didn't have a line. So I went in there, and my friends followed with me, right? Oh my God. I still have the picture of what we wore that day. I remember because my friend had an accident. That was another story for another day. But all I'm saying is I got a stall. Because the thing about it is men don't pee in the toilets. Even though men pee in toilets, at home, they don't pee in toilets. They use the urinal, right? So when I came out the stall, one friend was in the sink. She was using the bathroom in the sink because there's only one stall because, men use urinal. And then my other friend was actually peeing in the urinal, like squat. Oh my gosh, she would kill me if I said who she was. But you know what? If you rocked with me back in the day, you know who I'm talking about. Because my circle was very tight. So you already know. And because the way my friends were, everybody automatically know who my friend was that was squatted peeing in the urinal. And it was guys, but they probably said, I'm not dealing with this. Back to the story. So anyway, so these bathrooms was, popping up, whatever. And so I was like, okay. Because, it was a situation that happened. Bill Clinton actually came out with this thing that says, don't ask, don't tell. Right. So it got to the point where you kind of needed to do that. It actually pertained to the military because they were like, gays shouldn't be in the military. And then they was like, well, why? And then it's like, well, it's, all this kind of stuff. And so then he just said, well, don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask if they gay. Don't tell if you gay. And everybody be happy. And it worked. It worked. Now I know you think, Kelly, when you gonna get to the you're gay? I'm like, it's coming. Fast forward, right? I'm working at this facility, right? And I had this one particular employee, and I'm not gonna say her name. I'm just gonna call her. What's it? Oh my goodness! I'm gonna call her E. No, I'm not going to call her E because that's what I call my cousin. I'm going to call her Foogly Woogly. No, that's disrespectful. I'll just call her Pam. Yeah, let's call her Pam. So Pam will come to work every day late. Right? And then our job started at 8:00, and we usually would have like a check-in of the day kind of situation, whatever. And Pam just would not listen. And so, she would not come in. She would be outside on the street talking on the phone. She had this English accent. I guess she was from the UK. They're troublemakers out there. But she was from the UK, and she would come late every day because 8:00. that's when we start our meetings and stuff. So one day I had somebody call off, and usually I'm doing paperwork or getting stuff ready. And so this particular day someone called off and I had to go on the van ride because we would pick up children. And so I go looking for Pam. And so Pam is outside talking on the phone. And I said, I was up to here. You can't see my hand, but it was up past my head. And I said, Pam, we need to go. And so she was like, in a minute. I was her supervisor. Excuse me. No, get off the phone now. I said, we're going to be late picking up the kids because we have to go pick the kids up and bring them for school because school started at 8:30. So, she was like super disrespectful, blah, blah. So then I said, Kelly, we had to pick these kids up, just, whatever. So we picked the kids up, bring them to school. Everything's good. And so, they were like eating breakfast and stuff. And I said, you know what, Pam, I need to have a talk with you. So she was like, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? First of all, you supposed to be work started at 8:00. I pay you 8:00. And then she goes, well, I'm here, but you have to think of it like in a British accent. I'm here. And I said, no, you have to be in the building when we're having our meeting. That's when it counts, whatever. And then she was just like saying, ugh. And then I said, you know what? First of all, you need to, bring it down a little bit because your attitude is not good. And I don't want you, because look, I'm the kind of person, I'm all about energy. I'm not going to have you with your funky energy with my babies, period. I know, like, I worked for this facility with SED children, right? Severely emotionally disturbed children. So they're already going through a lot. They're going through trauma, all this kind of stuff. And then you're going to put your, negative energy on them? Like, no. So she yelled at me and told me something. I forgot because I kind of blacked out. And I said, give me your keys. I've only done that. I've only done that twice in my life where I've had to take somebody keys, but that's another story from the day. I said, give me your keys. She takes the keys. It was like a huge, because I worked in this, it was a beautiful building. I mean, it was old, but it was beautiful. And we needed keys for everything. I mean, I swear it's like a janitor. Everybody had like these big janitor rings because everything needed a key. And every key, we didn't have no master key. Every door had its own individual key. I swear it's like the Winchester house. Those are no. Nuts. She takes the keys and she throws them at me. Bruh, she throws them at me. It comes flying across and it cuts my hand. I mean, not long. It was like more like a nick, but still it drew blood. So I told her, get out. I go into the thing. Now my energy's off. I go into, because the director, I was a supervisor, but that was a site director, but I had like a program director. And I said, she got to go. She got to go. She got to go. She got to go. And she said, she was like, what happened? And I told her what happened. I said, look, this is not just a one-off. She's late every single day. She doesn't do her tasks. I've been on her multiple times, blah, 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 right? She goes, well, we can, I said, no, we ain't writing nothing. We firing her. She got to go. She threw keys at me. Look, I'm bleeding. And then, I mean, it wasn't that big. You can barely see. I had to kind of turn my head so you can see, but still, it drew like a little blood. And so she goes, oh, well, let me call HR. So then H calls HR, and HR is like, okay, you need to have a paper trail. I didn't really know about this kind of stuff. I would just talk to people. I was being nice. Always have a paper trail. That is the lesson of the day. Get a paper trail. So then she goes, okay, well, you need to do this paper trail, whatever. I was like, okay. And so then they were like, well, we don't know. I said, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell HR. It's either she goes or I go. Now, this is back in the day where you can do that. You can't really do that. But back then I was like, it's either her or me. If I walk out this door, oh my goodness. Side story. Quick side story. This particular place was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I had major surgery, right? They had to literally cut me from hip to hip. That's another story. They stapled me up. They stapled my my incision, right? I was supposed to be out for 6 weeks. Within, I would say, less than 4 days, like I wasn't even off a week. Not the program director that I was talking to, but the one before her, she was like, I need you to come back to work. I said, because they needed the kid. And I said, well, let me call my doctor. So I called my doctor and I said, hey, I'm calling because they want me to go back to work. They said, no, 6 weeks. 6 weeks. And I said, well, they really want me to come back. They're having all these issues. He said, the work that you do you understand if one of those kids punch you or kick you and you rip your stitchings, that your guts will fall on the floor, Kelly? Your guts. Those organs will actually fall on the floor. Oh my goodness. So I called my job and I said, I cannot do it. My doctor said I cannot come back to work. She says, if you don't come back to work, we're going to close the facility down. You won't have a job. True story. God strike me down if I'm lying. I said, okay. I didn't tell my doctor, but that following Monday, I brought my butt into work. And it was divine intervention, God, everything that kept me protected. Nothing happened. No kids did anything crazy. I didn't get attacked anyway, but where was I at? Oh, my bad. So I said either her or me, right? And so, bitch lady's like, okay, we just write all this stuff out. We're going to get rid of her. I said, okay, cool. So I wrote the thing out. So she came into the office and I'm sitting there looking at her. She looking at me. She looking at the boss. The boss is looking at her. The boss looking at me. We all looking at each other. She going to say, we're going to have to terminate you because of the behavior that you've shown, right? You know what she says? You know what she says? What is the title of this episode? She said the reason why she is firing me because I'm gay. I didn't hear nothing. All I heard was I'm gay. Do you know what my response was? I'm gay. I really wasn't gay, but I'm just saying, it's like, you gonna let that be the reason? Not that you come late every day, not that you don't do your tasks, not that you don't have a good relationship with the staff, not that you have a horrible relationship with the kids, the parents don't like you, you don't get along with anybody, and you have like not one thing that. She actually became a therapist later in life, and when I left my job in 2018, that's another story. She was actually they hired her. So like I left, and like 2 weeks later she was hired as a therapist. Child, rejection is God's protection. Could you imagine what that would have been like? And I would have been her boss. I would have been her immediate boss, but I was the boss of the facility. This is a whole different facility, but it was working with SED kids. And that was crazy. But anyway, I digress. So when she said that, and I said, I'm gay, my boss looked at me. I mean, stone face. It was like, ladies, here is the documentation. And I had everything out. I think I stayed up all night to just write everything out because I'm like, mm-mm. I mean, I got my calendar and it's like she couldn't deny it. Oh, these are the days you did this. You would, not only would she come to work late, but she would leave early. And one day I caught her leaving early. I should have said something there. One day I caught her leaving early and I said, hey, you didn't do the, I'll do it in the morning. Ooh. Who's she talking to? Who is she talking to? She's talking to me? Goodness gracious. So anyway, long story short, they terminated her, whatever kind of thing. It did not matter that she was gay. Who cares? She was black and she was a woman. You know what? She probably could have got father or one of those, but I mean, she couldn't really use that because I'm a black woman, right? She used that as almost like a weapon. Because the thing about it is, what is the difference between you being gay? So the person that you like, right? Like who you like. Look, I don't care what you do with your hoes. It has nothing to do with me. I don't care what heterosexual people do with their hoes and who they do it with. You know what I'm saying? Do you? You like it, I love it. That's how I am. I just don't. Like, I mean, I don't want to say that cliche thing like, oh, my friend, I got a lot of friends that are gay. Like, I ain't going there. But what I'm saying is that you can't use that because I feel like that is something that, because people say like, oh, I'm born that way. Well, that's fine. You live your truth. And that's what I want to say. Live your truth, but don't let that be something that will like cripple you. Let me tell you something. I know this is off topic, on topic, but I know this guy, right? Oh, I can't say his name. Okay, I'm gonna call him Tyler. So Tyler he white, right? White guy, but he loved the culture, right? And he be in the culture. He used to be at all the dances. He kind of low-key looked like John B. Tyler. So anyway, yeah, but guess what? When Tyler was ready, Tyler could just take off his what was that called? FUBU outfit for us by us and go into, I don't know, the whatever. I don't know. Whatever party or you want to go in and be with other people that look like him. You know what I'm saying? He could go back and forth kind of situation. But when Tyler is with a certain group of people, you can't tell. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell how he moves. And it should be kept. Bill Clinton says it best. Don't ask, don't tell. You should judge a person by their character. You should judge a person by their kindness. To see if they have morals. Like, there's so many things that you can judge a person by with regards of the things that are important. Not how they look. Not how or who they do. Like, that part. But I say all this to say is that be your authentic self. Find your tribe and do what you need to do. But in the meantime, between time, you got to be fluid when you go into certain spaces, right? When I go into certain spaces, I can't be like, you got to treat me this way because I'm a black woman. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm in that space. I have to do whatever those people in that space is doing. Kind of thing, to a certain extent. If you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. Don't try to make the world bend around you, right? Because that's going to be hard. It's better for you to be able to be fluid, right? And you'll never know like who you're going to meet and who you're going to see. Like I said, I have friends that are trans and they transgender. I didn't even know. When I met them, I did not know. You know what? It didn't matter because I had grown to care and love for that person the way they were, the way they are, and how they want to be. Let's just be the best possible version of ourselves as possible. Take care of yourself, love yourself, and you'll see things will change. Don't be a victim. Be victorious. Yeah. So I just want to say, if no one's told you today that they love you, I love you. Mwah! Now go out there and be great. Bye.